it going today? So listen, we're going to continue our series about bariatric surgery. The first week, which was about 2 weeks ago, I talked about bariatric surgery, how to qualify for it, some of the pros and cons of the surgery. Now, following that, I will talk about the individual types of surgery. So last week we talked about the lap band, what it is, the pros and cons of the lap band. This week we're going to talk about the sleeve, or the gastric sleeve surgery, VTS as some call it, vertical sleeve surgery, what have you. And this is one I'm really excited to talk to you about, because this is the one that I had. So this is the one that I'm more experienced about. Now, of course, this information is not medical advice. This is just information for you to take to your doctor so that you too can make an informative decision about your health. Okay? So the vertical sleeve, what is it? Unlike the lap band, this is actually a surgical procedure. Well, lap band is surgical too. But I say that in that they're removing part of your stomach. So they cut off the vertical curvature of your stomach. So now your stomach is shaped like a banana. It's able to hold maybe about 6 ounces of food. This restricts the amount of food that you can eat, resulting in around a 53% of excessive weight loss. What I mean by that, you'll lose around 53% of how much, depending on how much weight you are, how much overweight you are. For example, suppose you are 100 pounds overweight. 53% of that is 53 pounds. Okay? Some of the things that you have to be careful about as far as that surgery is that it can cause reflux, like the lap band. Also, it can cause vomiting, because when if you don't change your lifestyle, if you don't change your eating habits, when you start eating your normal diet and you try to overeat, it can cause excessive vomiting or persistent vomiting, which can result in things like anemia, hair loss, osteoporosis. One thing that you really have to be careful about, and this is something that I didn't do, when you can only put about 6 ounces of food in your stomach at a time, you have to make sure that you're putting nutrient-dense foods in there, foods that have the nutrients that your body needs. Because if you're putting unhealthy foods in there or just junk, what's going to happen is that you're going to end up anemic or end up with problems with nutrient deficiencies. Okay, so be very careful with that. Like I said, this is the type of surgery that I had. I had it back in 2010, and I lost about 90 pounds. Very happy about that. But I was still obese. Still subject to some of the chronic illnesses that are related to obesity. I became anemic, and I started to gain the weight back because I hadn't really changed my eating habits. Now, of course, I did suffer from reflux, but I had reflux anyway because I was obese. And many obese people, maybe not all, but many of them suffer with reflux disease, and I was one of those. But the thing that I want to talk to you about today also is that when I had my surgery, when I started to gain my weight back, the doctor suggested that I have bypass surgery, which is what we're going to get into next week. I didn't do it, and the reason why is that I realized at that point that the problem was not my stomach. I didn't need to change the anatomy in my stomach anymore. The problem was here. It was my thinking. And so that's why I did not opt for a revision or opt to have the bypass surgery. Because I want you to realize this, whether you have the surgery or not, whatever you decide to do, it's going to be so very important that you make lifestyle changes. It's going to be so very important that you change your mindset and your relationship with food. Because that's the only way that you're going to be able to keep that weight off. So that's my experience. I would love for you to DM me or click before. I would love to hear your experience related to bariatric surgery. That's all for now, guys. And tune in for next week when we talk about bypass surgery. Until then, have a great night. Bye-bye.